This video is sponsored by Gate.io. If you set an account up using the link in the description, you'll get 25% back on all your spot and futures fees for life. Gate.io.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another boring trading Sunday. So everything's boring, everything's flat, everything's basically the same. We're waiting for Bitcoin to give up the game, see if it can make it down to 28,500. If it can, great. If it can't, no big deal. We'll be looking for a bounce here or here. We've been speaking about this for ages now. The intermediate area, this green line here, where I actually do think that if we do break down below this area, this is going to be the more likely area for a big bounce. This 27,700. This basically is given to us for a variety of reasons. The golden cross on the 3-day, which has obviously formed. We've got two of those. We've got a 200 simple exponential golden cross, so a double golden cross. Usually has a very decent response when you come down to test it. So being below the Bollinger Band so far on the 3-day does make you feel like it's more likely to come down a little bit further, edging further down. So we're talking 28,500, fair enough. But for me, this would be a great area, 27,700. So that's basically it. But, you know, as far as trades are concerned, yeah, that's a trade. That's a trade that could be made, definitely. Futures, derivatives, whatever. But it's also, for me, like the market as a whole generally follows Bitcoin, and Bitcoin obviously is going to be following traditional markets, and traditional markets also look a little top heavy, but the game is not over for those either. You know, me and oil, I've been talking about oil and blah, 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 blah. You know, we'll talk about it more and more and more throughout the week. I've been going on about it for a couple of weeks at least now, the stocks to commodities rotation. And what effect that has on crypto, I don't really know, to be fair. Crypto has been basically the weakest portion of all markets, you know, outperformed by even, you know, mega blue chip companies, you know. Either way, let's think about what this might mean for altcoins. I've got a few altcoins set up here. Obviously, Ethereum is, you know, it's basically the same as Bitcoin. We've got a 3-day Bollinger Band bottom at 1,700. That's also a weekly Bollinger Band bottom as well. So a major support around 1,700, which makes it more good, I suppose, way more emphasis for the entire market if we come down to those levels on Bitcoin and Ethereum. The 4-hourly, not very good. Obviously, yeah, death cross retests, you know, nothing more than a downtrend, which is why I'm still looking for these lower zones to be hit. So let's have a think about some of these other altcoins that I quite like. So XRP is coming back down to the bottom side of the range now, so this 60-cent zone is effectively the main area. But if we take it to a daily, we've got the 200 exponential now highlighting this major area, which is the 51.5 cent zone. So this, a move down to that level is going to be pretty awesome for an opportunity. It'll be like the last time you'd ever want to buy XRP, probably the highest price you'd be prepared to pay for it. And XRP, you might think of it, think of it how you will. We've got a very nice rinse and repeat market cycle. This is just the Binance history. You go to you know, its full history. You'll see this happening every single cycle. A breakout, a descending triangle, big moves up, massive big move up. So we've got a breakout, descending triangle, big move up, and then we're waiting for the next big massive one at some point later on down the line, where I think this time around it'll do a new all-time high because we're out of the woods with the SEC. So XRP 51.5 cent would be an excellent place to buy it from if we ever get down to that level. Otherwise, you know, it's probably not worth picking it up, because my catchphrase for XRP is "Thou giveth, thou taketh away." You buy it on a 200 exponential while being above it. That's the time to buy it. You know, you don't buy it any other place. That's basically, it's a very simple rule, really. Now, Atom. This is another coin that's been kicked down the stairs by the SEC. It's probably got a lot further to run to its full potential. You know, as far as development concerned, fundamentals on this one is pretty good, and the stake and rewards are pretty sweet across the board. Most platforms. I obviously do mine on SwissBorg, but you could do it across everywhere for usually over 10% APR, so that's pretty good. However, the chart looks pretty wrecked city. Now, I picked this up, my first buy order of this one recently been picked up at 8.50, so I'm now back in the game on this one. I'm not assuming by any means that this is the low, absolutely not, but it's a relatively decent support to give it a shot on. It's a dollar cost average, just like you should be thinking for any altcoin. You don't go all in and all out. You dollar cost average. You know, I've been saying this to people on the Patreon. You know, if you're looking to get your foot in the door, build up a portfolio, now is the time to start that. So you divide. You know, we put buy orders all the way down on a variety of different altcoins that we've been looking at. And look, this is the first major one that I've picked up at this level. Picked it up, stuck it into SwissBorg. It's now staking away. Thank you very much. I'll leave that to run for probably a couple of years for what I believe is a relatively decent speculative area where risk to reward is pretty sweet. Now, if we do come all the way back down to its bear market low, yeah, that's a big drop, similar to the sort of drop we're looking for on XRP. I think altcoins could be seeing as much as between 30 and 50% pullback from where they are at right now. That's absolutely the case. It doesn't mean that that's bad risk to reward for an investment. We all know that you can't spot the bottom. For the most part, no one gets or buys the absolute bottom, nor do they sell the absolute top. But what you'd be looking for is something like this, $8. Okay, fair enough. You're looking for this to reclaim its all-time high and maybe then some. So we're talking about a 500 to 1,000%, versus a temporary loss of what, 50, 30%. No big deal. It's staking, baby. She's staking away. She's staking away. I'm not bothered about what the price is, particularly today, tomorrow, next week, or even next year. It'll be later on down the line, maybe 18 months to 2 years down the line. That's where I'll be interested in the price. And regardless of whether I've sustained a temporary loss in the short term, trying to speculate on a reasonable area of lows, my staking returns will at least be keeping me warm in my bed at night while I wait for greater prices and brighter days. So yeah, 850, bought that dip, and I'll be prepared to buy further dips on this one to continue staking. It's relatively easy to see where those would be. We've got a midway point sitting here at around just above $7, about 720 would call it, and then obviously the previous major low around 570, 580. So those are all areas to consider. Now this one, ALGO has gone to wrecked city for a very long period of time. She had a renaissance during the World Cup, and then they gave it all up. It was basically nothing more than a death cross retest here on the daily. The 200 exponential, smack, bang, all the way down thereafter, and now we're even breaking down below this major zone. Now, just playing devil's advocate, you might think that this is a complete write-off, and you could be right. I like it based on its fundamentals. It's got a good team, good development. I hate it when you have to stump to those lows and start talking about that sort of stuff, but it's true, right? It's true. Tokenomics could obviously be better. The staking returns are quite good as well. So what I'd be looking for now would be to start picking more of this up, because anyone who knows me knows I do have an inordinate amount of Algorand, and I'll be looking to buy more the lower it goes from this level. We've got three major big drives of bullish divergence on the daily. We take it to a 3-day. What do we see over here? Again, same read, bullish divergence on the money flow index and on the RSI. We've got snaking up as well on the 3-day MACD. And also, we have the same read on the weekly. Now, this isn't the best thing you've ever seen in the world. Again, it's trying to scrape out a low. This could go down a lot more than where it is already, but I think it's reasonable to assume that this is an okay place to buy. And if you think it can't recover, it can recover. It has recovered. It's done it in the past. We came down to this low, basically where we are right now, maybe a little higher, a little lower, and we did go all the way up to significant highs above $2, basically just short of $3. So that is decent returns. That's what is a 30x from here if it were to do that. And again, the fundamentals on this are quite good. Unfortunately, however, SEC has pulled the trigger on this one as well. So we got 1 and 2 under the scrutiny of the SEC. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I do feel as though the SEC have not just bitten off more than they can chew, but there's also something behind it. We've got all these other countries in the world, pretty much every other country in the world, saying, yeah, crypto's fine. Yeah, crypto's fine. I don't want to miss out on crypto. I'm going to allow crypto. I'm going to be open with crypto. Yeah, we'll have some regulation on it. Like over in the UK, you can't do futures, derivatives on crypto. Apparently, you can't even stake it. I mean, there's always ways around these things. But I mean, that's their view on it. But as far as anything else is concerned, it's fair game. That's cool. That's fine. But over in the States, different story. They're saying, oh, screw you and screw that and screw this, sue. Seems a bit silly to me. More too silly. I basically think it's planned. Basically, I think I know what they're doing. I think they know where it's going because the rest of the world has given it the green light. They're going to give it the green light. They just want to reduce the prices as much as possible. And the things that they've highlighted, the tokens that they've said that they've spoken about, aren't the super low-end crap coins that are actual scams. They are decent ones with decent tech, decent utility. that don't seem to really be imposing in anyone's lives. They actually are decent tech. They're decent, solid blockchains with fundamentals that are realistic. They're not the furry-faced meme coins that really, they're the ones that should be, if anything, they're the ones that should be sued. You know, a scam coin or whatever. You know, those are the ones that are a problem, not these things. So it makes me think that yes, okay, Atom, okay, Algo, okay, XRP, and whatever else that they've chosen, Matic, the lot. Yeah, these things they're probably wanting to lower them so they can buy them at lower price because the future is bright. It's just an opinion. It's just an opinion, but you stand back and think about it. You're like, yeah, well, hang on a minute. Why are they only suing the best of the best? Why are they only trying to sue the ones that are actually really doing proper development with utility? I don't know. Why are they doing that? So yeah, there you go. Algo, this price and lower. Worthy of dollar cost averaging into it. Probably with every 10% drop that it goes down to. And again, we could speculate they could lose another 50%, bring it down to 5 cents. Will it reclaim its all-time high? I don't know. Can it? Of course it could. Remember the SEC and XRP? That took place around here. Here, that's where it happened. So we had this big move up, SEC plummet. It still went on to make a significant run after that. It came all the way down to 20 cents and peaked all the way up at $2. So yeah, it didn't make a new all-time high. The SEC definitely had an impact on it, but as far as it being able to make a new run, a new local high and a significant one of that, a 10x, it still managed to do that. So with or without the SEC, these things can recover and they can do well. And these prices are low and these aren't nothing. These aren't furry face, stupid meme coins with no utility. These are real things. And finally, yes, that's right. It's here for a reason. It's BSV. Now, BSV is broken down below this area, which is good for me. I'd certainly be able to entertain the idea of picking it up between 30 and 25. Now, this might not feel like something you want to do. People don't like it. I get that. It can be volatile. It does have a halving. It's got utility to it to an extent. So I like it. I think it's going to work, and I think it will work quite well. But from this exact level, I would much rather not buy it today. I'd be looking for this to come down to, we'll call it about 31, and then obviously just above 25, so 25.5. These are decent areas to pick it up. I reckon it's worthy of having 10, 20 at least of these just to let them run, because when it does run, it will run. It's done it before. It'll do it again. I like it. It's good stuff. So we're talking picking up around 30, 31, and then another big order around about 26 just to get the foot in the door, and then just leave that to run its course, do its thing, because it can run. It's done it massively in the past. It went from 5 all the way up to its peak at 500. That's significant gains. That is a significant gain in a bull market. That's absolutely epic. So I appreciate it's not a very popular token, but it's definitely one that can yield some serious highs. But you've got to, you've got to sow the seed, haven't you? Really, in order to reap what you sow later on down the line. One of those guilty pleasures of mine. So there's four altcoins there. Generally, overall, they're nothing amazingly special. They're all on their ass for the most part, and I would expect a little lower over the coming weeks. 1 or 2 weeks or so. An opportunity sits in those levels, and dollar cost averaging is the strategy. This is not just these 4. There's loads of them. There's tons of them. We were looking at them on the Patreon. I mean, even stuff like ADA. I'm not a big fan of ADA. Hold that in increments down from 30 down to I think around 23 cents. Seems pretty reasonable to me. There was tons of them. There's tons of them. They're not showing signals or signs of life now, but they're showing that they are maybe not oversold, but we are approaching significant lows, scraping out some of these lows at these lower zones. And for the most part, I'm telling you now, trading is great if you have the time and the ability and patience to do it. But I have to say, if you look back at the last bull market and the one prior to that, the biggest gains I ever had were the ones where I bought and hold. I bought XRP when it was around 3 cents, sold it when it was about $2.80. I bought Matic when it was 1.2 cents, sold that at 1 and 150, and still hold a lot now. There is plenty of opportunity for those who buy and hold and then stake if you can. The hodlers almost always win, provided you haven't bought something absolutely awful. And these, in my opinion, aren't absolutely awful. They're just decent altcoins with decent utility, with bright futures on the technicals. On the fundamentals and the technicals, yeah, they look wreck city, but they're offering us areas to buy from, and we should think about buying those and holding them. That's what I'm doing anyway. Like I say, I'll make more videos of the things that I've been doing this with. There's some real low cap piles of Shiite that I probably best not to mention. I don't want people copying those sort of trades. They are wild cards. But outside of that, yeah, I don't see a problem with this. And I would go as far as to say anything that the SEC has spoken about personally is probably a signal in itself, because I don't believe that what they're doing is through genuine care for the retail market. I think it's almost certainly some hidden agenda. I sound like Alex Jones or something, but I think it's some hidden agenda for the big players who want to scoop these things up, because they know what's going to happen, just as the rest of the world knows. As they've given it the green light, America's going to give it the green light once they've bought the hell out of the market. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on here. So if the SEC has brought up an altcoin by name, it's probably worthy of taking advantage of these lower prices on. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.